This video is going to be a quick follow along video, and I'm going to teach you how to use a for loop with an array. So you can follow along if you like. There's no challenge here, but there will be challenges that use this in a couple videos to come. Okay, so go ahead and open up Unity. And in here, let's imagine that, say, I'm building a game that has like a magic shop. And I want to print out information about all the spells that I could buy, right? So let's go ahead really quickly and create a C# script. And I'm just going to call it like magic shop, and then go ahead and open that up. Okay, so in my magic shop script, let's say that we have a public integer that's an array, and that's going to take in our spell ID. And I'll save that and assign those values in the inspector real quick. So I've attached the magic shop script to the main camera, and for spell IDs, I'm just going to make 5 of them, and we'll set it to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now back in our script, let's go ahead and make an array for all of the names of all of the spells. Right, so I'll say public string array brackets, and we will call this one spell name. Let's go ahead and save this as well. Go back into the inspector, and we're going to make up some names for different spells. All right, so we have spell name. I'm going to also set that to 5 and just type in different random spell names like shadow, fire. I don't know, dude, just random spells. And now that we have those assigned, let's say that you want to print out all of the names and all of the IDs. Let's go ahead and bring back start. And in start, we can actually open up a for loop and loop through all of the items in our array and print each of them out. So let's say for int I equals 0, and we want the loop to run for as long as I is less than, let's start with the IDs first. Let's say spell ID dot length. And then we'll just increment through I++. We're going to iterate through each item, right? And we're going to print it out. So we'll just say debug.log spell ID subindex I, right? So as I is changing, it's starting at 0 and going all the way up through the maximum, which is 5. It's going to print out each item in that array. So let me show you that that works. All right, and you can see when I've hit play in our console, it's printed out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's looped through each of the items in our array, starting at the beginning, and it's printing out the ID numbers in order. Perfect. What if we wanted to do the same thing, but for our names? For our names, it would be simple as well. All we would need to do is change this to spell name.length, and then debug.log spell name subindex I. Save our script, and it should do the same thing. It should print out each of the names from that array. Awesome, and there you can see it's happening in our console. We have Shadow Fire, Celestial Fury, Dragon's Breath, Arcane Explosion, and Tempest Strike, all printing out in order. So let's say that we only want to print out the spell name if the spell ID is 3, right? So we only want to print out the spell that matches spell ID number 3 and then print out the name. How would we do that? What we would need to do is we'd need to use the same for loop, but instead of just printing them out all one by one, we would need to first check if that ID exists, right? So we would say if spell ID subindex I equals 3, then that means it exists and we've found spell ID subindex 3. And to make this make a little more sense in my brain, I'm only going to loop through the length of the IDs since what we're checking for is the ID, and then we're going to print out the name. Debug.log spell name and append that to our spell name subindex I. All right, let's go ahead and save this and test, and it should print out the name of the third spell. Awesome, and you can see when we hit play in our console, it is only printed out spell name Dragon's Breath. So there you go. That's been a short overview of how for loops work really well with arrays. In the next video, we're going to take a look at how to use a for each loop to print out items, but it uses slightly different syntax. Okay, I will see you in the next one.